So 2020's been a rough year. 2021 wasn't that great either, and now we're in 2022. And sometimes it's nice just to go back to when life was easy. Back when things were simple. And that is just what we're going to do today. Today, we are playing my childhood favorite game, Pokemon trading card game online. I remember whenever I was collecting all of the theme decks as they were coming out. These were little theme decks that came out, and you could buy them with 500 coins. Oh my word. And I would work so hard to get each of these decks, and I would compete with them. I would try to see which ones were best, which ones were worst, which ones were worth keeping around and competing with. And it was just a joy to do. And shortly thereafter, Magic the Gathering Arena came out, and I focused all of my attention on it, and I lost track of my first online card game, Pokemon trading card game online. And I haven't played for years. To this date, have not played for years. And now, I want to come back to this game because I just got so much enjoyment out of it, and I want to see if it still holds up to my memories and to its legacy in my mind. One way to do this is to see if the daily challenges are actually fun to accomplish. They're very rewarding. You can see we get packs, we get coins, we get all kinds of things for knocking out Pokemon. Most of the challenges are going to be knocking out Pokemon unless that has changed in recent history, but I feel that these are very good to do. Not only do you get packs with every accomplishment, you also get a sense of accomplishment every day. Every day you get a goal to defeat a certain amount of Pokemon with a certain type. Not only does this ask you to have a broad collection of cards, it also asks that you be competent enough to play a wide variety of different styles of decks and play types. To start this series off, I want to go into Burning Spark because I remember I had a lot of fun with that back in the day. But before we jump right into playing, I want to go over what is in Burning Sparks. Why did I play this deck when I was young? Well, first off, this deck is nothing overpowering, but it was one of the first decks that I used on the game. So I wanted to go back, start with it, and see what happens. Let's go over the list. You got 2 Panseers. You never want to play these. They're terrible. You got 3 Pikachu and 2 different Raichus. I believe they do the same thing. They do. I do not know why they separated them out, but they did. But you have 2 Raichus and 3 Pikachus, which are going to be your big hitters. Pikachu, kind of nice to start a game off with if you have to. If you absolutely have to, you don't want Pikachus to die without evolving them into Raichus when you're playing Pokemon. But you got the move Agility, which if heads prevent, flip a coin, if heads prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. Very nice kind of defensive move. It negates a lot of damage if you're lucky. And the game Pokemon's based a lot off of luck. It's a lot of coin flipping. Then you can evolve him into Raichu, and this is where you're really going to get some damage. For, the really basic decks, Thunderclap Shot is not going to do anything, but if your opponent does have a lot of EX cards, this could do a lot of damage to them. A lot of damage. Followed by what you're going to be using to wipe out these basic and evolved form Pokemon, which is Electro Smash. Electro Smash is flip a coin. If heads, this does 20 more damage. You could be doing 90 damage, and he has no retreat costs. You can pull him out. You can pull him out of battle, no costs. Pikachu has a retreat cost, but Raichu does not. So he can be used as a great utility card for basically a mid-game card to get you to the end game. And let's say that they knock out your Raichu, or you haven't had a good luck start. You can always play the Stunfisk. The Stunfisk is going to mostly be used for revenge. Yes, he is expensive to retreat at a cost of 3. He is weak against fighting, but that's not too super big of a deal. Fighters are more of a support group anyway. But revenge is nice because if any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your last turn, this does 80 more damage. So you do 100 damage for 2. And then you can keep using Revenge until Sunfisk dies if you want to. I wouldn't recommend the retreat cost. You could use Thunder Blast, but there's more effective ways to use bigger spells or bigger moves in this deck, which we will get to. A very good early card to start off with would be the Dodo. Dodo starts off and you can draw 2 cards. Every turn, draw 2 cards. If your opponent is playing a slow first or setup round, you could be drawing cards the entire time until they kill the Dodo. And he can evolve into Dodrio, which his ability is pretty good. It makes it to where it's easy to retreat Pokemon, but I don't like these flip coin attacks. So the Fury attack can be good, and we did actually use it during these games today, but it's not your most powerful Pokemon for killing Pokemon, but it's a good support card. It's a very good support card that could get you to the end game. Followed by 3 Magnemites, which we won't look at that much, except for to say that you got some sort of ability to resist your opponent. Magnetons, again, you get some ability to resist your opponents. Then you have the Electro Ball, who deals 70 damage and discard an energy attack attached to this Pokemon. It is weaker than Raichu's move. It's a little bit weaker than Thunder Blast, and it has the same effect. You have to discard a part card, so I wouldn't recommend this over, say, a Stunfisk or a Raichu. I would choose one of those 2 ahead of it. Finally, you have Magnezone, and this card can completely take over a game. If you could get your Magneton or Magnemite down and then evolve him into Magneton, and then get him to Magnezone pretty early on, as often as you like. During your turn, before your attack, you may attach Electric Energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. Then this Thunder Blast does 100 damage, so far superior to the other attacks, but you do have to discard a Thunder Energy. So you have to make sure that you have the Electric Energy. You also have some red cards in here that are going to be more, if you need a quick character out on the field, if you need a quick Pokemon, these are good to use. Ember, you do have to discard Fire. But Mini Eruption's much better, I think. You discard the top card of your deck. If it's an energy card, it does 30 more damage. So you're getting damage through. You can't really beat that. Smurgle. Smurgle is interesting because once during your turn, you may switch a basic energy card to your active Pokemon from a different deck. So if you're out of energy cards in your hand and you need to get things from like a Raichu to a Magneton, you can do that with Smurgle. Vixen, attach an energy or discard an energy card attached to this. There's a lot of that discarding energy in this deck, which can actually come back and bite you in the butt. And I wouldn't really use this over much else in the deck. It's just kind of there as a placeholder to get you where you need to go. Same with this Dadine. But this flip a coin of heads active Pokemon is paralyzed. Can be nice because it is a bit of protection for Dadine to get you to your Magneton, to get you to your Raichus, to get you maybe to your Stunfisks, or if you're really desperate, your Dodrio. But so you're discarding a lot of energy cards. How does this deck survive? Well, with a couple of cards. You could use a Super Rod to shuffle 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from your discard card pile into your deck. It's a way of shuffling them back in. You get the Professor's Letter, who helps you, grab some of the energy out of your deck, which is always nice. Wally actually is cool because you can actually get your Magneton and stuff like that. You can draw cards to try to draw the energy you need. And same with Giovanni's scheme. And then you have, how many? Oh, only one Fisherman. You have one Fisherman. I would actually recommend putting some more Fishermen in here. But put 4 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. This card is not a a what you would call like a mid-range deck. It's mostly trying to get in there, hit your opponent quickly, and get out. But that's a deck. Hope you enjoy a couple of rounds with me, and make sure you like and subscribe, huh? And we're off to the races. First thing I want to say is I remember this purple deck. It was a pain in the butt to deal with way back, especially when you had more basic cards. You just saw the evolved forms right there that make this deck dangerous. Very dangerous. We start out with a Pikachu. They start out with the routes. Routes is how they get to what they need to get to, and it's good at defending itself a bit too. So, starting off this match, I was wondering kind of what we were going to do. See, he's got the psychic mana. Oh no, I said mana. I mean energy. He has a psychic energy, and we keep going at him with our Pikachu. We got a nice little board here. We got a couple things kind of set up, a Megatron and the Sneagle. And we're starting to wonder now why he's not playing any other creatures on his board. And I wanted to put this one on fast forward. It was one of the first rounds I did. And we don't see a whole lot happening from the opponent, but, you know, lo and behold, that's what we get. It is, however, a victory. But we know we could win these rounds. We need to know whether the game is still fun after all these years. Stick around for round 2. So we're into the next round, and honestly, going through this one, I started to get a little bit worried. As you will see here in a moment, this matches up pretty closely to the last match, where we're not going to see a whole lot happening from the opponent, and I wanted to see whether this was fun anymore. It is perhaps possible that he knows that his deck is not set up correctly, but you see all the cards in his hand and he swings, and I am continuing to build my board. I do not have any mana. I'm really worried about that, so I go ahead and grab a Professor's Letter in order to grab mana. So I'm doing what I can to build up the board, but it doesn't seem as if he is. And I wonder now, looking back at this, is whether he just has a bad matchup in this round and that's why he's not doing much. Though he does take the time to actually evolve his. But thinking about the state of the board, it might be, I don't know what you would call it. Maybe he was just trying to evolve the Pokemon so that he could get one of his dailies done. And that would be a totally acceptable, fine thing to do. But this match is wrapping up, and we're still trying to see whether or not Pokemon trading card game online is still fun. But regardless, we still get the victory right now. And we're off to round 3, starting with Pikachu, Magnetron coming out, or Magnemite coming out. And it looks like our opponent actually has a board this time. He has a board state. And so we might actually have a round. Starting to build up that Magnemite a little bit because, you know, Pikachu might be hung out to dry here in this situation. Looks like we have a bird, so he's going to have weakness to electricity. That might give us a bit of an advantage in here. And so we swap them out, put the Magnemite to work. We have the Magnetron in the hand, so that we could really start to do some damage if we need to. And it looks like our opponent is doing a really good job cycling through his deck to get the cards that he needs. Something we did not see from the previous two opponents. I don't know if they just drew poorly or if they just weren't sure how to proceed. But it looks like this opponent is building up his creatures in the back, which is what he should be doing. I'm trying to rush and push through him really quickly, and that's actually really dangerous for me because he's got some creatures with good mana build, or mana energy build on them behind this or behind his main creature right here. So we've got to be very careful. We get the energy and we move on. Opponent is able to reach in and grab more basic creatures out of his deck, and again he's looking really good. He has 5 cards in hand. He has his board filled full. He has lost 2 Pokemon, and I think that this rush tactic is actually working for us. Now, the Amber Snow, he might not have the energy on him yet, but he's using him out. He's putting him out here as a distraction. He wants a little bit more time to build his board up, and we don't want to give it to him. So we reach out and grab Wily. And this is whenever we really take the match. Yep, we're going to kill this in 2 turns. He's not going to be able to do anything about this as long as we have energy. And we can run out of energy. There goes a fire. We only have 1 electric left. So this is a very dangerous situation. We are being very, very aggressive facing him. And it seems like it's paying off because we're ahead 6-3. And he's able to get some damage in. But then we're able to heal right back. And we're able to blast one more time. And that will do it for the opponent. He hits again, just out of spite. And we will now move to the post-game wrap-up. Is this game worth playing anymore? And it ends where it begins, back to the title screen. And we're honestly trying to determine whether Pokemon trading card game online is worth playing anymore, or if there needs to be some update by the company or whatever. Let me know your thoughts on it. If you've stuck around this long, I'm sure you probably have some thoughts on it. Those matches, in my honest opinion, the way I'm looking at this is those few matches aren't enough to determine whether this is worth playing or not. You have to understand, I was playing with a very low ranked deck. I was playing with at the very bottom of the ladder. So who knows what kind of opponents I was facing, or if they have ever played Pokemon trading card games before. That might have been new people. It definitely wasn't people that played a lot. But regardless, as you move up the ladder, I'm wondering if the skill level goes up, or in tournaments if skill level goes up. If so, this has got a worthy shot of being a good game, but you have to play more games to get to those spots where you can actually be competitive with the game. So, until next time, leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, adios.